Bitch was holding me hostage.
Yeah, 6 seconds is off.
Get on it. You see, she still didn't want to leave.
Sorry. No, I mean, part of it is laughing, but another part of it is like at work this past week, I inhaled some metal sparks.
Yes, bro. 2 rings to try to sell me some bullshit. But anyway, I'm still doing this. That's why I'm like, what the fuck?
I can cut it out in post,
I inhaled the truck fumes, so it's cool.
but at least it blew up. So,
Yeah.
¿Qué pasó, cochinos and Sucias? I'm that vato gallo, the chivalrous chauvinist, the Sucio Supreme. I'm here once again with my friend Boogie from Blokk. Wait, yeah, Blokk Talk, because I always get confused. Cement Block Entertain Productions. It's like you got like 7 blocks and everything you do. Boogie, let everybody know who you are.
Hey, everybody. I'm Boogie. That's right. I'm one half of the Blokk Talk podcast as BLOKKTALK, Blokk Talk. We run a business called Cement Block Productions. Our Instagram is cement block _ productions. That's why block is in everything. But I try to keep it like that, so that way it's pretty easy to find us.
Yeah. And you know, it's a lot of good stuff and good information there. It's fun hearing you guys just kicking at you with your friends about just random shit.
Thanks, man.
Today we're gonna talk about simping because like not all guys are perfect. We don't all just jump in the dating pool and just getting laid from day one. I mean, we'd like to,
Yeah.
but it takes work to get there. It's not, you know, Boogie and I are not perfect. We didn't just jump in the pool and get women.
No.
It takes work, it takes effort. And Boogie, take it away, man. Share a story that you have.
Oh, so many. I used to listen, guys. I always say this is definitely something that you can learn. It's not something that I started with, definitely. So what happens is, I remember. I'll go to the most recent time. So a couple years ago, I was with this woman, a single mother. She has 2 kids. Okay, so I was simping so hard that I would let her go out on girls' nights, like by herself and stuff like that, and I would be at home. I'd be watching her kids. I'd be washing the dishes, doing the laundry after a full day of working. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? That's what I mean, man. Simping is real. So I did used to simp over that thing, but because I used to think like, oh, that's how you keep a woman. You're supposed to do everything to show like, oh, I'm invested in this relationship. So I'll literally do 95% of the workload while you go off and have fun with your girlfriends and pretend to be single.
What made you realize, hey, this isn't gonna work? How'd you get out of that?
Again, if y'all listen to the first episode you and me did, my dad pulled me to the side and being like, "Listen, you're fucking up." He's like, "You're fucking up." He's like, "You're doing too much." He's like, uh, he's like, "You're falling into what society wants you to think that a woman wants." When he's like, "That's not what she wants. She wants you." He's like, "She's testing your limits because she wants you to put your dick down." And here you are, just your dick tucked in between your legs. So he's like, "You need to be a man and say no." And he's like, "That's what she wants." And he's like, "Even if that's not what she wants, you need to be man enough to be able to say no and walk away and be okay with that." And he's like, "Cause listen," he's like, "if my wife left me right now, I walk down the street and pick up 10 bitches." And he's like, "Now they're not gonna be hot, but they're gonna be 10 bitches." I was like, "Okay." So that's the advice my dad gave me. I gotta put my dick down.
And I gotta find out if our parents or our fathers are related somehow. Because man, his some of his advice is like the same. And knowing how my father threw his dick around, man, we probably could be related. Fuck, no, wait, no, because you know your father, so it can't be. But anyways, my father, he told me when I went to go live with him, he's like, hey, before you start dating any girls, tell me who their mother is. I'm like, wait, what? And he goes, hey, you know, he just like over time, he never told me specifically, oh, I did this, I did that. I had to pay attention to the conversations and I'd hear, okay, so you fucked around back then. Okay, so you were with my mom. You're still with my mom. Right after my mom. Okay, all right, cool. Okay, all right. Yep, I'm not fucking anybody in this neighborhood. But yeah, because he kind of gave me similar advice. One of mine for simping, it wasn't that bad of like, you know, taking care of a household. One was this one girl, we're driving along and, you know, I've been kind of working on her for a while, but not as hard as I wanted to. Like she's just like a back burner chick because I didn't have the time to focus on her. We just lived on weight.
Mhm.
So I was living up in Spring and she was living out in by Derry Ashford. And I had like
Yeah.
no business in Derry Ashford. I'm not gonna go chase a chick in Derry Ashford. So every now and again we would see each other. And one day I just went skating and met up with her. And you know, my car had broken down, asked her to give me a ride home. So she gave me a ride home. We're driving home or my place. And she's talking about complaining about her boyfriend that she just broke up with. And she goes, yeah, I'm looking for a guy that's, you know, knows who he is and he's confident in this and that and has a job and has a career and knows how to do things. And I'm like, okay, this bitch is talking about me. She's talking about me. Yep. That nope. I'm okay. I'm not clean cut. Okay, no, that's me, that's me, that's me. And like right before we get to my exit, I fucked it up and I said, "Man, you're basically talking about me. Why don't we go out on a date?" And though as soon as I said it, I knew I fucked up. Like I should have been smoother, but I wasn't. I should have said something like, "Whatever, anything but." Oh yeah, that's perfect. You just described me. We should be a boyfriend and
Yeah.
girlfriend.
You done
And
gave her the ick.
yeah, exactly. She was like, "Oh, okay." And like I was pissed because I probably could have got it in that night, but because I fucked
Yeah.
up and said that, I just ruined it. So she dropped me off. He goes, "Okay, I gotta go." I was like, "Okay, fine. It's only 9:30, but whatever." And so I ignored her and talked to her for about 2 years, and like hit her up every now and again. And then she hit me up out of the blue, and we ended up hooking up like months later after she hit me up. But I knew I fucked it up then. Which so basically, I put pussy on layaway instead of getting it that night. I
Yeah.
had to get it like 3 years later. But anyways,
Yeah. I remember the first time I realized I was ever simping, like the first time in my life was I remember I bought flowers for this girl. And it wasn't even our first date yet. Like I literally just bought them for her and I took them like to her job. Cause I'm thinking it's a good idea. I'm like, all these rom-com movies tell me this is a great idea. She's gonna see what great guy I am, blah, blah, blah. Which is also why I don't believe the rom-coms are anything like reality. They don't want that shit. But anyway, I take these flowers to her or whatever. I take him to her, and then she ends up canceling on the first date. And so I'm there. I'm like, oh well, it's okay. I guess we could maybe reschedule. Whenever you're free. La, da, 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 instead of telling her like be on my schedule type shit. But so I was simping super hard for that, which is why now I have the firm belief that flowers need to be earned. They're not just given. I don't think that flowers should be given for no reason, and I don't think flowers should be given when you mess up. Because if you give flowers when you mess up, in her mind, you're putting that every time you give her flowers is because you did something bad. So if you do just want to get it to her for no reason, she's like, "Oh no, he fucked up." You know what I mean? So she's gonna just keep putting it in her mind. Now, like I said, if you get some good head, buy some flowers. You know what I'm saying? If I remember one time, this one chick, I was working on a Saturday like today, and she picked up, she came to my place and picked my dog up and took him to the dog park for me because she knew that I was gonna be busy all day and he was gonna be locked up inside. So she called me and she's like, "Hey, I went to your place. I used the spare key. I took your dog to the dog park. I'm barely bringing him back right now." And I was like, "Well, since when have you had him?" She's like, "I've had him for like 5 hours." And then that day on the way home, I told her, I said, "Wait at my place. I got something for you." On my way home, I picked up some flowers and I got them for her. Like I said though, because she did something that helped my life be easier, so she earned those flowers. They weren't just given.
I totally agree with that. Like, find you a chick that it makes your life easier. Like that's one of the biggest things I look for. Um, though I never get flowers for anybody. Like I got flowers back in high school, and that was like the last time I got a girl flower. Like the corsages, those big old monster Texas moms. That like, if
Yeah.
you're not from Texas, you don't know what corsage is. Like, you get a little wrist corsage, that ain't
Yeah.
that ain't shit. Like this bitch better like it better cover
Nah,
her
man, that thing's
dress.
gotta be stacked, gotta have a spinner on the top of it and shit like that. Have a couple lean on the
Yeah.
side.
It's got to be at least 4 feet
Yeah.
long. Yeah, I totally agree that she should get a reward. Not even a reward. It's I don't even can't think of the right term, but basically give her a thank you for doing something that made your life easier. Like that's totally deserved.
Yeah, see, when you say it's a reward, because I remember I was talking to my co-host TJ about that, and I was telling him, I was like, bro, you should reward women's good behavior. He was like, one of his friends hit him up, and she was like, he makes women sound like their dogs. Like you give her a treat for sitting when you tell her. And I was like, listen, I was like, that sounds terrible, but essentially that's correct. I was like, yes, you give her a treat when she does something good, bro. I was like, listen, it is what it is. I was like, her, she should again, this is gonna sound terrible, but she should earn your time also. You know what I mean? Like you have to realize again talking to my dad, I started realizing he's like, listen, you're the prize. He was like, at the time, he's like, you're 26 years old, you got no kids, you have a great paying job, you have a brand new truck, you know what I'm saying? You make like you do well for yourself, you're charismatic, you can dance. He's like, you have all these things that are in the plus column. And he's like, and you're looking at these women like they got all these pluses. And he's like, but really the only plus you're putting there is sex and then breaking it down into subcategories. He's like, all she has is sex. So you got to look for the other pluses. Like, how does she help your life? Does she make your life easier? Does she bring you peace? Does she help out around the house? Because I'll tell you, man, like, especially like right now, I'm still dating and stuff like that. I'm shocked at the amount of women that don't know how to like cook and clean. So now, luckily, I broke out my simp phase. Like, now, I'm not gonna lie to you, man. I was telling my brother this. I've had the same dirty bowl in my sink for I don't know how long. Like I'll re-dirty it just to leave it in the sink. So when a girl comes over, I'm gonna see if she cleans it. It's like a little test. I just like do little shit like that, or maybe like I don't sweep that day to see if she comes over and like offers the sweep or sweeps. And that's like just a little test that I run where I'm like, let me see, because most, I'll say not even most, I'll say maybe like 40% of women that I've brought over, they'll clean that dish or they'll sweep up. You know what I'm saying? Where the other ones will just leave it there because they're like, it's not my fucking place. If he wants to live with that dirty bowl there, that's cool. And I mean, it's not like a mountain of dishes I'm leaving her. It's one bowl, you know what I mean? That I maybe had ice cream out of. And I cleaned the spoon, so you only got the bowl. You know what I mean? But little tests, man. Little tests are necessary sometimes to prevent simping. Because I'm like, I ain't gonna simp over no bum that don't clean up.
No. That is facts, man. And when I say rewards, normally I try to avoid saying that because people say, "Oh, you're talking about like treating her like a
Yeah,
dog." Okay, positive reinforcement. That's a better way of saying it
yeah,
because of course, it's still like a trait or a tactic to teach a dog, but if you teach people
yeah,
to you're going to respond nice to them if they do nice things for you. It's positive, positive.
yeah,
Versus like you can even do negative reinforcement, which doesn't always work. But like some girls, if you put it on them, you tell them, "Hey, if you misbehave, you're not getting sex today." And I had actually my girlfriend. She fucking sat down in a parking lot, threw a tantrum. I was like, "No, I forgot. I'm sorry." I'm like, okay, this is kind of cute. I'm gonna let it slide, even though I don't like tantrums, but it was kind of cute the way that she did it.
yeah,
So I was like, all right, I'm gonna let you get one pass. This
yeah.
is your one free pass. And this was like, still early on when we were dating, when I was still like fucking around with other chicks too. But yeah, it's just you gotta let them know what it is you want. You can't let them run over you. You can't let them, keep continuing bad behavior because then they're gonna just keep pushing limits. Just like a kid, they're gonna keep pushing boundaries until they see that they have none or see where the boundary is. And even then they're gonna try to push it and try again
Yeah.
there.
Two things I always say: women are basically big ass children that you can't spank. You know what I mean? Like honestly, because they have a lot of, when you think about it, they have a lot of similarities.
Yes, you can. You can spank the fuck out of them. They like that shit too. But
I mean, you can spank them, but you know what you know what I mean? Like you can't, because if it's like your kid, you can actually discipline them to where like a woman, societally, I guess you're not supposed to do that. But another thing that I always say though, man, is honestly, I think men would be better with women if we dated like women. Like, and what I mean by that is this, right? I think that as a man, if you date with an overabundance mindset and you start realizing like this is just pussy, like there's not really any power behind this, because like if you say no, there's so many more women that'll say yes, that this isn't a thing. Because when you think about it, that's how women are. Like if they get disgusted by anything with a guy, where if you listen to the last episode of Blokk Talk, we talk about it. Women are allowed to have like what I call icks, which is little small annoying things they don't like, which could be something small as, oh, this guy had a Velcro wallet. You know what I mean? Or like he had a yarn bracelet, like some bullshit. Or it's like there's no real reason for you to hate this, but you've dismissed him completely sexually. Where you got to think about it. Women use positive reinforcement all the time, because I had a first date not too long ago. If you go on a first date and you do a great job at the first date, right? I went to go get some wine with this chick. We went to this little wine spot that I know here around town. We went, made her laugh, all this stuff. Uh, you cut the sexual tension with a butter knife. Went over there, and we went back to her place, and she gave me some positive reinforcement because she's like, "You killed that first date. Like you did that thing." So that's what I'm saying. Women do it all the time. They positively reinforce you. If you do something good that they like, they will reinforce it. Where they're like, "Everything you did tonight, I liked it. So I'm going to sleep with you to let you know if you keep doing these things, I will quit. I will keep letting you hit it." But it's wrong if a man does it. So that's why I'm like, "Fuck that, man. You got to have the same mind."
and it's crazy because everybody's talking about toxic masculinity and hypermasculinity and all the bad things, quote unquote, that is going on in life. But I think it's a lack of masculinity because a lot of these men children, adult males that are misbehaving with women and don't know how to treat women, more often than not, they're raised by single mothers. They don't know how to treat a woman because they see their moms complain about, oh, Timmy or Johnny or Juani or Tyrone, whatever, don't do this to girls because they don't like it. And they're constantly being told this of a bad dates that they have. But it's not really bad dates. It's just things that they don't like guys doing. And then these boys associate all these different things are terrible, don't do it with women. So they don't know how to be masculine with the woman. Whereas machismo and how we grew up, clearly we both had machismo in our lives, is that, being hyper masculine, being able to stand up for ourselves, may be seen as an asshole, but at least we have our own identity. And at the same time, we also know how to treat women, even though it may not be the way society wants us to treat women. Women still respond to it, whether they're feminist, whether they're liberal, whether they're traditional or modern. They still respond well to it. They may not like it, they may not love it, but they still enjoy it or accept it to a degree, and will give you their, boundaries of where to stop and where not to go. And whether you want to listen to them or not, that's up to us. But, we can still dismiss them or follow through.
Yeah. Fastest way to become a simp is to listen to women on dating advice. I say it all the time. If you want to learn how to catch fish, you don't ask a fucking fish. You ask a fisherman. That's why you gotta ask dudes that are good with women because women will lie to you. I remember one time, again, bringing up my little brother, my baby brother was asking me for dating advice, right? He was texting this girl and he was not getting the feedback he wanted. And I was like, I'm telling you right now, she's only using you for your attention. And I'm letting you know that right now. She doesn't want anything to do with you. And he's like, I don't think that's true. My sister was in town visiting. So we called my sister and my mom. And I was like, now they're going to lie to you. I said, but I'm going to get them to tell you the truth. So we went over there, explained the whole situation. And they both lied to him in his face where they're like, that's not true. You're a good guy. You keep on doing what you're doing. La, da, da, da. And then I grabbed his phone and I said, I want you to read these messages to my sister. I was like, I want you to read these messages and you tell me if she actually does like him. And she read it and she was like, oh no, yeah. He's like, nah, man, she's using you, dude. He was like, she's totally using you. And so he's like, why did you lie to me the first time? And she's like, because I don't want to hurt your feelings. And that's the thing. Women, they don't want to hurt other people's feelings, especially their
Mhm.
son's feelings. You know what I mean? So they're like, oh, I'm just gonna give you the nice version of you can be a nice guy. And again, the rom com movie plot. You can be her best friend for 16 years, and after she's got 3 kids by 4 dudes, she'll wake up and realize you're the perfect person for her. Like, nah, man, I'm not a cleanup crew. I'm not here to clean up the mess.
3 kids by 4 dudes.
Oh yeah, I love doing weird, crazy like math shit like that. It makes it funnier to me.
Man, no. Back to simping. Um, so man, let's see.
Yeah, back to simping.
I was really thinking really hard, and like, I haven't had a bad one where I was like, hung up on a chick. The only other one I had was I fucked up with another chick that I was trying to talk to. I knew both of them. There were two sisters. One had a kid, the other one didn't. And so the one without the kid was the one I was trying to talk to. And physically, she was more my type. But because I knew the sister and the sister was more conservative, I would always fuck with the one that I liked and tell her, hey, if your sister found out what we were doing or talking about, she probably wouldn't like this. And I don't know why my dumb ass, I thought that was funny or whatever. Like I just kept fucking with let's say Abby and Amanda. I don't know, just random names. So Abby was the one I was talking to. Amanda was the one that was, conservative. And so Abby, I'm telling her, hey, next time I see your sister, I'm gonna tell her what kind of Sucia you are. And it just little jokes like that. And the first time she told me, just don't talk to my sister about this, whatever. And for whatever reason, I thought it was funny fucking with her. And I kept saying it to eventually I just like talked my way out of the pussy. Like it was just, I don't know why I just kept pushing it, but I just fucked it up that way. Talked to her like 3 years later, and she was like, I was down to do whatever you wanted, but I didn't want my sister to know. She's this way. She doesn't like, she wouldn't understand. And because of that, we didn't hook up. And I was like, yeah, I kind of realized it. I don't know why I thought it was funny. I just thought it was hilarious in my mind, and just let it go at that. And we haven't talked to her since. But even then, I'm still frustrated with myself because my dumb ass, I just decided to be like a fucking 12-year-old kid or little boy and think I'm being funny, just like pulling her hair, thinking she likes me, and just fucking it up,
So man, like I said, the biggest thing that I've seen most simps come from tends to be if they come from a predominantly like woman run household where like either they got a lot of sisters or like the father isn't present, single mother syndrome. Because a lot of times single moms like they don't really teach men how to be attractive. They teach them how to be likable. So it's like you don't actually know how to be attractive to women. Where that's the most important part because you can't be a nice guy till you're attractive. After you're attracted to them and they're like attracted to you, then you can kind of do nice guy things, but you can't try to be attractive by being nice because then again you give them the ick where they're like he's too nice so I think something's wrong with him. That's the number one thing I've heard from a bunch of women that like I'm dating and sometimes we'll be laid up and they'll be showing me their phone and they'll be like, oh my god, they'll be like, this is so refreshing because this person sucked, let me show you what they said. And it's just them generally genuinely trying to be a nice guy, and I see it and I'm like, oh, you're shooting yourself in the foot trying to be extra nice. Where he's like, yeah girl, like I want to take you on a date, you know what I mean, like I want to show you how you're supposed to be treated. and this, that, and the third. And I'm gonna buy us some flowers. I'm gonna get us $100 bottle of champagne and all this shit. And I'm like, I just came through like the Wendy's drive-through. Be like, we just had a 4 for 4 meal. Like, I don't know what you want. So it's crazy though. And they'll be texting like, man, I really like you. It's crazy. I haven't felt this kind of connection with anybody. Where I'm like, bro, like y'all ain't even had a first date yet. I'm like, y'all tripping.
No, I get that.
But like I said, 9 times out of 10, they come from a single mother household.
And the crazy thing too is that these females, whenever they see or get those messages, you know, not just the ick, but also those guys, because I've been on the other end with trying to help these guys out, and they're just basing it off of rom coms because they're saying, okay, well, this is what works in movies. Like movies and real life are two distinct things. Like how many actresses or celebrities have you met in person? How many of them have you hung out with? Like real life, they just don't associate with us. We're not going to run into them, and if we do, they're going to be so stuck up that like, why are you even talking to me? Like, fuck off. Unless it's like some type of fan thing that they're supposed to interact with fans, they want nothing to do with you. You know, you're not paying them millions of dollars to hang out with them, or you don't have millions of dollars to go fucking do rich people shit with them.
Cardi B's like, I don't cook, I don't clean, but yet I still got this ring. And then Offset, her husband recorded her, and he's like, for all y'all that thought that she was for real, this is all fucking cap. And she's literally cooking and cleaning with like while she's feeding the baby right behind her. It's like music and movies are because a lot of people don't realize 80% of the consumer market is women. So when they make all this stuff, it's targeting women. Because again, it's like, oh, this romantic feeling of this nice guy that's always going to be there that you can fall back on for when you're done with the douchebags and the fuck boys. You know what I mean? But like you said, men pick up on that and they're like, oh, that's what she wants. I just got to play the long game. Where, like I said, simp game does work. If you simp, you can get you a woman, but it's a long, hard game that will lead towards you resenting women most of the time. Like I said, most simps that I know, they tend to be angry at women. And then after a while, like it starts to show and they start being aggressive towards women in a very bad way, which is only making them ostracized more. So it's like, it's a self defeating prophecy.
It's sad to see it because, even like on Reddit all the time, I'll like comment on stuff. And the crazy thing is, depending on the time of day that I respond, sometimes my comment, same thing, or like if I change a few words, if I type it during a certain time of day or certain day of the week, I'll get like 700 upvotes. And then different day of the week, different time of the day, and I'll get like 500 negative votes, like downvotes, because it's just who happens to see it. And it's either mostly females or mostly simps or whatever see it. And they don't like hearing the truth. So they'll downvote it. Or guys that want help. They're looking, oh shit, that's great. They'll message me, oh, hey, well, how can I do better at this? What do I do there? It's like, I just gave you the layout there. If you need more help, then yeah, I can help you out. Don't let them run over you. One that I commented like a couple or like 12 hours ago was a guy like, hey, there's this girl that, she likes me, but she doesn't want to date because she doesn't want to lose my friendship. Like, okay, should I keep trying to be her friend or should I try to do something else? I said, start avoiding her. Don't talk to her anymore. And whenever she reaches out to you, say, oh, hey, I'm busy. And finally, when she asks you, hey, how come we're not hanging out like we used to? Say, you found someone new. I don't want to spend time with you because I have feelings for you and I'm talking to this other chick. Make her realize she's missing out on a good thing and you're going to give it to someone else. So let her imagination run wild thinking about, oh shit, this other girl locked him down. I should have. And either forget about her or see if she changes her mind.
I'm always downvoted on Reddit because me, like I'll be on the Tinder subreddit, so people will be asking for like advice for their profile. And listen, people hate hearing this, right? Where I saw somebody had commented where they were like, your bio's great. Just hang in there. You're gonna meet a girl. And I commented, I was like, if his bio was so great, he wouldn't be asking for help and he'd get matches. So instead, I'm gonna give him actual advice. And so I gave him advice where I was like, listen, I'm gonna give you some harsh realities. I'm not trying to be a douche, but listen, your photos suck. I was like, nobody likes bathroom selfies. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I get it. Like you like cats, but you can't have your cat in every fucking photo. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, you gotta women like adventure and they look for lifestyle. I was like, so post yourself like out at a cool bar or rock climbing or doing some like cool shit that women can see themselves in that photo. Like, oh, I could see myself sitting there next to him at that bar. I could see myself in his Jeep going to the beach, stuff like that. And I got so many downvotes because everybody was like, that's not true. A man could have shitty photos, but if he has a good bio, I said, you won't even read the bio if you don't like his photos. So I was like, one leads to the other. I'm just trying to fix his photos first. I was like, because his bio is secondary, because most women will forgive a shitty bio. Because I've done an experiment where I literally just put in my bio, it was like, match for more. That was the only thing I wrote. 3 words. But my photos were so good, I was getting like 30 matches a day type shit. I was getting a lot of matches, but because I live a very interesting lifestyle, I'd say. So the photos were definitely doing most of the work, but people don't want to hear that because then it's like they're like, you make women sound so vain. Like you make it sound like all we care about is
Which
what
I
men
do.
can provide. And I
They
was
do,
like,
yeah.
I mean, you do though, but that's what you should look for, a provider. But they don't like hearing it because it sounds like, oh, that makes me feel like I'm shallow. It doesn't make me feel good. Or like my sister says, that doesn't sit right with my spirit.
Oh, man.
So yeah,
Oh,
that's a
man,
real saying she
women are
says. I love
fucking
her.
hilarious a lot of times because they make these assumptions that they try to use their
Yeah.
emotions and justify their emotions with or justify their logic with emotions, but you can't and mix the two. You either got to be logical or emotional. You can be both, but you got to know when's the right thing for the right situation. And a lot of times, women are just emotional.
Yeah, because they use two different sides of the brain. You got one side that's using logic that helps you be good at math and stuff like that. Then you got the emotional side, which helps you be like more artsy and shit like that. But most women tend to lead with emotion, while most men, not even nowadays, because like I said, everybody runs on emotion of like, I feel this way about that. I feel this way about this. It's like, listen, man, from a logical standpoint, like from a logical view of this argument that we're having, logically, his profile is not good. You know what I mean? Logically, he needs help because if he was getting matches, he would be all right. But the funny thing is, though, like I said, I'll give them that advice. I'll get all these downvotes, and then that guy will DM me on Reddit and be like, "Hey, listen, so I'm not gonna agree with you in the comments because I don't want to get attacked, but that sounds like good advice. Can you give me more?" And I'm like, "Sure, I don't mind it." I was like, "I'll be the villain. Like that's fine." I was like, "I'm just trying to help you all out." I was like, "My Tinder profile is fine." I was like, "I do great." I'm like, "But I just try to help other people because a lot of women don't realize this, but statistically, men between the ages of 18 and 30, one third of them are either forced celibacy, which means that they're not the reason they're not having sex, or they're a virgin, which I thought was a crazy statistic. It's like 30% of men between the ages of 18 and 30 are either a virgin or into forced celibacy, which means that they can't get women because women don't even recognize them. They don't see them as a viable sexual partner. So, like I said, on our podcast, Blokk Talk, and on Reddit and stuff like that, I just try to help young men be more attractive and be more confident and kind of let them know because sometimes I tell some stories on the podcast too where I'm like, listen, man, like this happens to everybody. Like this is not something that you can't learn. You can definitely learn it, and you can always become better with women. You're not forced to stay in this role. You know what I mean? And just because you get the first piece of pussy doesn't mean you have to bow down to it.
I have like Match, Tinder, all the dating profiles or dating apps. Well, I mean, not now, but I had them all at one time. But I only use them whenever I travel. So whenever I travel, like I change the zip code to where I'm going to be at. So that way, when I show up, I'm already having more matches because I show up like as a new person in that area. So by the time I land, I already have a dozen matches or whatever because of my pictures, because of my profile. But I don't like using it where I'm in town, just because I'd rather meet people in person, like and get a better feel for them. Because meeting, or at least for me, with online dating, it's a lot different now with dating apps than it was when I was on AOL, like way back in the day. Like on AOL, people were like either who they were or totally being somebody different. Whereas now there's a lot of catfishing, and not even like catfishing the way it is like two different people, but catfishing with their personality. Like, oh yeah, no, I love to go to the beach and be outdoorsy and do shit. And then all she likes to do is just go to bars and drink. Like that's about it. Maybe go to the beach. But for the most part, you're not going to get a real idea of who they are unless you actually meet them. And so that's why I don't like dating apps, because you're not going to get a good idea who they are. You're going to waste your time and effort. Oh, hey, this chick is into all the same shit I am. She likes my type of music. Then you meet her in person, like, oh, well, that was a phase. I used to like, metal or fucking hip hop or whatever.
Like I was really into corn.
I was, but
Yeah.
not anymore. I just haven't changed my profile or haven't updated. Like, okay, then why am I wasting my time with you? Like, we're not going to have anything to talk about.
So I work weird hours, so I'm up at like 1:30 in the morning, and then I'm in bed most of the time by like 1 p.m. So my schedule's really weird. So I just keep Tinder and Bumble. Those are the top two best ones for the Houston area anyway. Definitely have the hottest women. I just use those two dating apps because, like I said, I work such weird hours that I'm basically just kind of like farming out my sourcing. And then, like I said, from there, I'll be nitpicky. And like I said, when you have plenty of options, you can afford to be nitpicky, where it's like, okay, I'm going to kind of gauge you a little bit. Because another thing, too, I don't really like texting a lot. So, like, I'll send a voice note, or like I like to call women or FaceTime them. So that way I can see that this is a real person first on the FaceTime. Call you. That way I make sure that it's a woman. You got to get them off the dating site as quick as possible because when they're there, they're literally just being thrown matches. So it's like you got to get them off of there as quickly as possible. So whether you got to funnel them to your Instagram, which don't do that if your Instagram sucks. Free piece of advice: send them your Snapchat instead, or send them, preferably your phone number, because most women are going to Google you anyway, because they're going to want to make sure that you are who you are. So they'll Google you and look you up. That's why I use those two. I tend to farm only because I work weird hours. Some Saturdays I'll go on a date, and then other Saturdays I won't have any dates planned, like with anybody, and I'll just go out myself, and then I'll source like 2, 3 women at the bar where I'll get their number, and then from there, I'll try to funnel maybe one of them to Sunday for brunch, one to Monday for coffee. Again, you got to get that FaceTime, because especially at a bar or a club, she's being approached a lot. Just real quick Tinder tip: if you've had your profile for a while, delete it for a month and then get back on, because the algorithm prioritizes new users, and a lot of people don't realize that. If the longer they stay on Tinder, the algorithm is literally pushing them down because they're not buying premium. So if you delete it for a month, like 30 days, and then come back, it'll literally promote you like a new user. So it'll send you out to be the first swipe on a bunch of women's pages, and you can actually up your likes like that.
I'll try that one. Of course, I haven't used Tinder or anything in like 4 years, 3 years. Wait, fuck. I don't even know. It's been a couple of years.
I use it for sourcing. I use Tinder, Bumble, and Chispa if you like big booty Latinas. If you like Sucias, go to
Yeah, I'm
Chispa.
about to download one just to fucking check it out for research purposes. Oh
Yeah,
man,
it's for research, guys. Chispa. In case y'all are listening, Chispa. If you like,
be able to buy your
yeah,
ticket. I don't know what we're gonna do next year because it's everything's up in the air because of COVID.
yeah. Listen, man, I love that ass hat. By the way, I vote for the first one, the closed cheeks.
The
I vote
close
for the
chicks,
first
yeah.
one, closed cheeks. That's my vote. Because I think I like both by accident on your story, but the first one was it. That's the one that I voted
I
for.
should have done a poll like which one's better. You know what? I need to do a
Yeah,
poll again, see how that goes. And actually, yeah, everybody liked the close one.
looks more
I
dignified.
didn't want her to spread them. I wanted her to lift them. You know, do that little thing where like they like hook their pinky.
Oh, they lift the bottom. Yeah, put the pinkies under it. Yeah.
It was loud as fuck. I'm surprised I was able to clean up the audio.
See, I want to do that like 5 minute street interviews. I want to do that because like when me and TJ go out, or like sometimes me and shout out Pineapple Dan from Splash World Radio, me and him will go out. We'll approach women just to ask them like general questions. Like I said, we talked about on the podcast one time. I asked her like, "Do you find businessmen attractive?" Another time we'll be like, "Oh, what in your last relationship, what's one thing you did wrong and one thing he did wrong?" And just crazy stuff. Just to hear the fuckery of women's minds is crazy. So, but I actually want to record them because I just do them like to us talking, so I can have the experience to talk about. But I don't like making people feel like they're on spot. You know what I mean? Plus, drunk women on audio usually doesn't go as well as planned.
At least they have something to look at too. You know, they're there looking at hot chicks. Like, okay, well at least she's hot. Like, what the fuck did she say? What the fuck is wrong with her?
Yeah, TikTok and Instagram has put them like directly in the spotlight. Where like it's crazy, man. If you look at statistics on actual like those dating apps and stuff like that. So, OK Cupid, right? They did a study, and then Tinder did one because they saw the craziness of it. But a woman who's ranked like a 4 or a 5 as far as like swipes go, she'll get more likes than the top rated male. So like the top rated males will get less likes than an average looking woman. Where, like I said, women get so much attention. I know tons of women that they have dating apps and they literally never use them. Because I remember this one girl, like I said, we just finished sleeping together. She was on her phone, and I was like, "Hey, you got like a Tinder update or whatever?" And she's like, "Oh, I'm not worried about it." And I was like, "Oh, why?" She's like, "I literally only get it so that way like it makes me feel good about myself when I like open it up and I see I have like 75 likes or something like that." And I'm like, "That's crazy! Like you just literally do it for the validation of, okay, 75 people today thought my profile looked hot." Where it's like that's crazy. And then again, Instagram likes are the same way, and TikTok and shit like that. You can become famous for just doing nothing.
Yeah, well, like you said in your last episode, you're talking about like where you'd have a girl that would get mad at you for liking some Insta thought, you know, her profile, but yet she still has a profile and she's getting 5,000 likes.
Yeah.
She's oh, that's just my friends. Yeah, but you don't have 5,000 friends. We're female friends. You know, it's mostly guys trying to get it in, and a couple of your female friends.
Yeah.
So you know, the same thing.
It's like 99.98% men that want to fuck you and 0.02% of your girlfriends. Where it's like, listen, man, I did it only just to prove a point. Because again, I mean, I only have the business Instagram, so I don't really actually like have my own personal Instagram that I use. So I don't really go liking women's photos like that anyway. But I did it to prove a point. And then she's like, "Why you liking that bitch's photo? Like, you think she's hot?" Da, 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 da. I was like, "Yeah." And she's like, "Oh, so you want to fuck her?" And I was like, "Whoa!" I was like, "So if we're going by that logic," I said, "Them 10,000 likes you got on that last post of you in a bikini, that's very similar to her post. What does that mean?" She's like, "It's not the same." I was like, do you hear the logic of that? Like, does your mind process that that's fuckery? That's why I don't simp over hoes no more.
Yeah, they don't want to see it that way. They don't want to see the reality is like, oh, you're liking these other, yeah, I want to fuck them. But it's just not, it's not gonna be satisfying that way. That's why I prefer what I have now. For me, having a relationship is a lot better than trying to chase all after all these hoes. Sure, it's nice having that validation of having women fawning over me, like reaching out to me months or years down the road. Hey, can I see you again? That, that's an ego boost. Like for me, there's nothing better for me knowing that a woman still wants me years down the road, even though she's already gotten married. Or knowing that makes me feel more desirable because as men, we don't get compliments that much. We don't get support or uplifting, all we get is just, what can you do for me? What are you doing to me? What have you done today? It's never just being who we are, getting validation for that. And we like it.
It's hard being a man, man. I say it all the time on my podcast. Look, men are expected to build a castle, and women are expected to come in and put up some nice drapes. You know what I mean? Like that's the difference of the workload. Like you have to build this castle brick by brick. You got to hire bricklayers and masons. You got to make sure you do all this stuff. Then you got to get knights to protect this castle. Like you got to do all this shit. And then she comes in and puts in a throw rug, and she's like, "It's my castle, bitch." Like you know what I mean? Like that's essentially what it is as far as the workload goes. But I just want to put a disclaimer real quick. I tell stories like this and shit like that, like on our podcast, because I don't want men to hate women. Because I remember some woman was like, "You just are trying to get men to hate women." I was like, "That's not what this is for. This is for informational purposes, so you can see that while you're worried about this girl that you're so in love with, I'm laying literally next to her and she's laughing at you. Like I want you to know because I've also been the person that's being laughed at. You know what I mean? So I just want you to see like there is no good for you for simping and giving away your meat, which is your money, energy, attention, and time for free to these women that will not appreciate it. Because you got to think about it, right? If you get something for free, right, you treat it like shit because it's like, oh, this was free, it cost me nothing. Whereas, if you work for something and you earn it, it means a lot more to you. So that's what I said, man. You got to make these women earn your affection and earn your time and earn your money because then they appreciate it. I said, man, if a girl flakes on me, the next time we're going on a date, I'll tell her, I'll be like, sure, I'll go on a date with you, but you got to buy me a drink. And then she'll be like, "Oh, okay." Because after she's bought you a drink, now she's invested, and she's like, "Well, I spent money on this dude, so now I'm invested." You know what I mean? Or they'll fuck off. And guess what? If they fuck off, I'm fine with it because I'm like, listen, you lost out, I didn't, because there's way more of you than there is of me. Because only a certain caliber of men have the game I got, have the money I have you know whatever I got. Whereas in beautiful women are a dime a dozen, man. It's a bunch of them everywhere.
There's nothing special about pussy. I mean, there's nothing, even if there's a hot woman, not every hot woman equals hot sex. Sure, there's a chance that there's going to be hot sex with a hot woman, but more often than not, they're just hot. They don't know how to use their body because they're used to guys fawning over them and just being excited that they're with them, that they don't complain to them. Oh, hey, you don't give good head, or oh, hey, um, would you mind, fucking backing that ass up better or whatever. Like they just fucking, a lot of times they just fucking lay there because they think that that's all they got to do. There's that saying, for every hot girl that's out there, there's a guy that's tired of fucking her.
I have a TikTok that went viral. We had again Pineapple Dan from Splashboard Radio on our show, and the name of the episode, if y'all want to listen to it, is called "Breaking Down the Culture." I think it's like our third or fourth episode, but we had him on, and we were talking, and I remember saying something that went viral, but it was so true. Women with low self esteem fuck so good, but because they feel like they have to make up because they don't think that they're that hot, but they can be very hot, but if they have low self esteem, they put in the extra work. You know what I mean? Like they'll take the time to fuck you. Where I fuck plenty of hot women that they're pillow princesses. They just kind of lay there and like, listen, this is all I have to do. I showed up and I'm naked. Like, congratulations. You know what I'm saying? Where, like I said, women with low self esteem, man, they put that work in.
Low self esteem, daddy issues. I wanted my dream girl to be a Russian born, Blasian, Mexican raised, Catholic schoolgirl, formerly fat, former heroin addict. It was like 10 things. I'm like missing like three.
Reach out to Sucias are my favorite.
And there were so many things, but like if I could ever find her, man, I could be the pillow princess, and man, I would be done in like 30 seconds with her. Like I just wouldn't need to do nothing. That kind of bitch, man.
Single mothers, they tend to also put in a little bit extra work sometimes. Well, depending. Some single mothers are very stuck up. Other ones, like, where especially if they just had a kid and they still got kind of like that mom body, where again, it goes back to low self esteem.
Man.
Shift
Oh
it.
man, we're gonna get canceled here pretty soon. I'm gonna get canceled. But yeah, fuck it. We're spitting facts, and the crazy thing is,
That's fine.
people don't want to hear the truth a lot of times because the truth will set you free if you accept it. But if you just want to live in your own bubble, like have the what is it, the blue pill with from the Matrix, not the blue pill, whole red pill, blue pill, Reddit thing. That's a whole different category, a whole different topic. But as far as the blue pill of just ignoring and living life with blinders on, you're not going to have a happy life. You could probably trick yourself into thinking you're in a happy life, but life is too short to be walking on eggshells.
To go back to something you said previously about like toxic masculinity, everybody knows right now, this guy Andrew Tate is taking over the internet. But if you actually like listen to what he's saying, he's only promoting masculinity. You know what I mean? Where he's saying, he's like, listen, a lot of men are pussies nowadays. They're not really like men. They don't think that they should conquer the world. They don't think like they don't have any ambition. They don't have any drive. They don't want to make more money. Like they're fine working their 9 to 5 slave job where they make minimum fucking wage flipping burgers and salt and fries. And then they want to sit there and be angry at women and be like, I don't understand why I don't get no bitches. And, because you think about it, right? He's just promoting, he's like, no man should want to be average because the average man in America gets, they're living barely above their means, or if they're even reaching their means whatsoever. The average man doesn't have at least, $2,000 in savings in their bank account. The average man doesn't get more than, one woman every 6 months, if that. Like I said, from the ages of 18 to 30, they tend to be virgins, or, you know, not getting a lot of sex at all. Like I said, man, if you actually look at the average male statistics, you should want to be above average. And like I said, men that typically are uber masculine, or they got this toxic masculinity or whatever, we tend to be better, because we tend to fight. Like I know me for sure, I was at my job like 3 months and I asked for a raise, and they were like whoa, like nobody asked for like a raise that soon. And I'm like, listen man, like I know what I want, I know what I'm worth. And they say it all the time, like they joke around with me and stuff like that, but they're like the females in the office, they're like, God, you're so toxic. I was like, no, I'm so masculine is what it is. I was like, y'all just like to say that it's toxic, but because y'all can't go in there and ask for that raise. Y'all been here 6 years, y'all make the same amount of fucking pay. I was like, because y'all are fine just being okay with it. But it's, again, people don't like to hear this either. This is a fact. Women tend to be more agreeable. That's why they tend to make less in the workplace. Because I was having a conversation about this magical wage gap, you know what I mean? With my sister, where she was like, oh, you get paid more than I do. I was like, yeah. I was like, but hourly, you get paid more than I do. I said, I work 20 to 25 hours of overtime every week. So I'm putting in a lot more hours than you are. I said, plus every 3 months I go and I ask for a raise, just so that way I can get closer to, getting the gap closer together between me and you. And I was like, but hourly, if we both just work 40-hour work weeks, I'm like, you're shitting on me by like a good margin amount of money. But women don't want to hear that. They're like, fuck that, a wage gap. The men are keeping us down, blah, blah, blah. Where they don't realize 3/4 of colleges are women. 3/4 of the college population are females. So, you know what I mean? And then they want to talk about, oh, I'm being kept down either because I'm a woman or because I'm a minority or because of this or because of that. Listen, man, you can make all the excuses you want to. Like I said, I'm a former felon. I found me a job 2 weeks of being out. You know what I mean? I used to work 3 jobs till I was able to find me a good paying job. You know what I mean? I had shitty credit, built my credit up. You can make all the excuses you want to, but there's a difference between making excuses to acknowledge what's wrong with your life so you can better it, or sitting there and throwing yourself a fucking pity party of one where you just sit there and then nothing fucking changes. And like I said, it's the same way with women. You could complain about it forever, or you're like, I could start listening to Sucias are my favorite and Blokk Talk to become more attractive to women and maybe be better.
And it also goes back to like running a business, being on the management side of things. There's the 10-80-10 rule where the top 10%, your cream of the crop, those are the ones you're going to promote, those are the ones you're going to send out to classes and training, those are the ones that are going to get the raises. The 80%, everybody else just kind of does enough that they're just over broke, that they're just doing the bare minimum to not get fired. Those are the ones that are going to stay in their place. And then the bottom 10%, those are the ones you're going to keep reviewing. You're going to go over them, do the performance reviews, figure out, okay, how can I fire this piece of shit? Because they're always late, they're taking 4 or 5 days off a month, and they're constantly doing stupid shit that are breaking shit at work or fucking things up here. So you just weed out the bottom 10%, and hopefully the next 10% that come in, fill in the other gaps.
Not only that, when they did that study, they also included millionaires, where it's like we know that it's definitely disproportionate to the amount of men and women that are millionaires. You know what I mean? It definitely leans towards the male side because there are more male CEOs and business owners and shit like that. But Google did a study where they put like people, a man and a woman that had the same position, the same amount of experience, the same degrees and shit like that side by side, and women made more money than them. Like, and it's like a good amount. I think it's like 32% more than their male counterparts. Where it's like, but they don't want to hear that shit because again, it doesn't sit right with their spirit. It doesn't sound good. Where I know a woman, she's a part-time model, part-time teacher, and at her teaching job, she only works 3 weeks out the month because she takes a month off to go do her modeling job. You know what I mean? And so she wonders, like, I don't understand why I'm not getting any raises or any bonuses at my teaching job, or I don't understand why I'm not getting farther in my modeling career because it's like you're kind of halfway in both of them, and so they're both seeing as you like as a half-assed individual. You know what I mean? But shout out to Miss Misty the model.
How is she not getting fired from her teaching job? Because
But like I said, a lot of women do that though. They take a lot of time off, or they'll, like you said, they'll show up late, or they'll show up hungover as shit from partying. You know what I mean? And yeah, as a guy, you just can't do shit like that. I mean, you can, but you'll get fired quick.
we have the highest death rate, mortality rate in jobs. We have the highest mortality rate as far as suicides, homelessness, murder victims. Check out The Red Pill, the movie The Red Pill or the redpillmovie.com by Cassie J. She was a feminist when she was making a documentary where when she started it off, it was she had ulterior motives. She was looking into what's called men's rights activists, MRAs, and she thought that they were anti-feminists that hated women and realized, oh shit, men do have issues, men do have problems, and then kind of shifted her thinking and then interviewed other feminists and other feminists like or feminist males and all this other stuff. And, they were just like hating on men and men that don't agree with feminists or pieces of shit and blah, blah, blah. And like, we're just saying that we have our own issues. We're not saying that you don't have issues. We just want to have some light shed on our issues and help that way, particularly like paternity rights.
Yeah, I listen. Paternity rights. Listen, family court is meant to fuck over the family. That's why I told Tommy. He was like, "Listen, if I get money and I get a girl pregnant, I'm gonna want to sue for custody." I was like, "You're an idiot." I was like, "The family court's gonna fuck you." I was like, "Listen, the family court is not meant for men to succeed. There is very few people. Like, listen, Tom Arnold is my hero. That guy that was married to Roseanne because he got paid from Roseanne divorcing him. There's very few people that actually win in family court as a man.
Adele's ex-husband too, and she was pissed too. Like she's got to pay. Oh, and Halle Berry too. Halle Berry's got to pay like a fuck ton of child support.
If you want to see how hard a man's life is and the fuckery he has to go through, look at Will and Jada. I mean, now listen, that's going back to all the way to simping, right? He's simping all the fucking way, okay? And it shows he's because look, most marriages are predicated on female happiness. Male happiness doesn't matter. A man can be upset for years and just have to suck it up and deal with it to keep the family together. Whereas in the moment Jada was upset, she wanted to go fuck one of her son's friends, and everybody's like, "You go, girl. Hell yeah, that's what I'm talking about, queen boss bitch." And then, everybody's just shitting on Will Smith, which I mean, does he deserve to be shit on a little bit? Kind of. But you can see like the mental stress he's going through and everything that he's going through with all these pressures of his life. Now, obviously, that's an extreme example. I mean, also they're famous, so it's in the spotlight. But a lot of men go through stuff like that all the day where they work a shitty job that they hate, long hours that they don't want to work. They don't get to see their family as often as they want to. Their wife is fucking the mailman. Like, it's a hard fucking life. You know what I mean? And again, if he divorces her, she's going to keep the kids, she's going to keep the house, and she's going to get half his assets. So he has to sit there and fucking suck it up. And it is what it is, you know? And like I said, the life of a man is hard. That's why our suicide rates are way higher. But people don't like to talk about these uncomfortable truths because then you're just a toxic male asshole.
So essentially, a friend of my father's back in the 80s, he worked for NASA in Houston or Clear Lake. He was pulling down six figures back in the 80s. And I met him like in 88, 89 at my father's house because he got divorced from his wife because she realized, he wasn't at his place and he was always hanging out at my father's. She came over with her boyfriend. I need to talk to my ex right quick. And my father was like, bitch, you're on my property. Fuck off, or you can talk to him right here. And she was like, oh, my bad. Well, I just came to let you know that I'm gonna take you back to court so you can get more money for child support so I can buy my boyfriend a Harley. And I was like, what the fuck did it like I was 9 or 10 and I was like, did this no way. Like, it's just like there's just so much information that just seemed like crazy to me right at the time. And Dan, he was just like, okay, just kind of nodding his head, chill. Did you hear me? He's like, yep. Years go by, and I see this homeless man digging through my father's trash, and I like, yo, fuck, somebody's digging through your trash, and I expected him to come out with a gun and fucking blast this dude, and my father was like, no, that's probably just Dan the Can Man. I'm like, wait, what? I was, yeah, you know him, it's Danny Boy. I was like, that's not Danny Boy, and he goes, yeah, let's go out and talk to him. You remember the last time you saw him, right? I was like, yeah, right. Went out there to talk to him. So I asked him, hey, the fuck, what? I mean, I didn't ask him, but my father told him, hey, explain what happened from the last time you saw him. So she'd come over, said that thing about wanting to get more money. He went home, sold everything he owned, cashed out his 401k, cashed out his stock options, everything. Got all the money he could. Um, Basically became homeless. But he took all the money that he got and put it into like some type of trust or whatever. I don't remember what it was. I just remember he told me back then, like fucking in 92, 93. So I don't remember what it was. But he told me what he put all his money in. Essentially, he bought an apartment complex, and then I think it was a trust. It kept buying more properties. So that way his kids would have money when they were 18, 22, and 30. So at 18, their college is going to be paid for. After they graduated, he was going to get them a car and an apartment. Whole year's worth of rent paid off. If they'd graduated college and gotten a postgraduate degree, then at 30, they're going to get money for like a house. Like they just get a house paid for up to, I don't know how much it was, but he said they're going to get a house at age 30. And I was asking, like, so why'd you do that instead of just paying the child support? He's like, I would rather be homeless and provide for my kids than to give that bitch any money. And I was like, man, that's kind of savage. On one hand, great, but he sacrificed his life to, be able to fuck over his ex, which, you know, I probably would go that way too, but I kind of like living my life and having nice things sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, you only have half the nice things, Kyle. So I mean, I get the principle of it. I love it. I'm petty as shit also, but like I said, man, it is what it is. You know what I mean? But like I said, people don't think about that. Like I was talking to my brother. There's a very famous actor from the '90s. He had to pay $250,000 a year in child support, and then he quit being a famous actor. Like he didn't get any more jobs or roles or anything like that. He went back to the court and he was like, "Hey guys, I don't make $250,000 a year anymore. Like I can't pay this child support. Like y'all are literally taking all my money." And the judge was like, "That's not our problem. You need to work more." And so he fled to Canada, and he's still in Canada because if he ever comes back to America, he's going to be arrested on site because he can't keep any money because they garnish all of his wages.
I was in county for stupid shit back in the day, and there were guys that were locked up there for contempt of court because they couldn't pay their child support because they lost their job, and at the time, Texas had started doing a thing where if you were behind on child support, you couldn't get a driver's license renewed, you couldn't get like a tradesman license renewed. So if you're an electrician and you get laid off at whatever time, and you get laid off right before your license renewal came up, you'd lose your license, you lose your driver's license. So now you can't go to work, you can't drive to work because nowhere you really can't get around Houston without a car. Uh, at least not for a trade job because you got to be up and at work by 6 in the morning. You can't be trying to wait for a bus at 5 in the morning to get there at 6. So they were in court. They couldn't make the money that they had to pay for their child support. They go up to the judge. Judge would tell them, okay, how are you going to pay for it? Like, Your Honor, I can't. I don't have my license. I don't have this. I don't have the other. I don't know how I'm going to do it. They'd send them right back in, contempt of court. Until some guy kind of told them the secret, hey, when you go up there, tell them you're going to go pick up cans, do whatever it takes, and then they'll let you out. Now you're months behind, you're in arrears, and it's going to take you a while to build back up. But once you get back up, then you can get back on your feet and start doing that again. But at the same time, you're getting fucked over by the court system, which you really shouldn't be. If you got to pay for whatever, I think it should be more of, okay, X percentage is going to come out of your paycheck, not a fixed dollar amount, because your job can change at any time. You could get a higher paying job, you can get a lower paying job, just depending on what the economy says or what dictates going on. If I lost my job now, sure, I can go back to being an electrician, or I might end up going to have to be a fry cook or whatever somewhere. So if I had to pay $250 a week on child support, I'm barely making that, working at McDonald's. But if I only had to pay 20% of my wages, then wherever I go, I'm fine with it because I know I'm still gonna be able to survive versus losing on my paycheck just to pay for a kid that may or may not even be mine because there's no guarantee that it's gonna be your kid.
I mean, I wish they would change the paternity laws. To be honest, I say this: if it's your body, your choice. It's my wallet, my choice. If you want to have a kid, because this is the thing, right? So women don't understand, right? Again, struggle of being a man, they don't really give a shit about it because they don't have to care about it. But if a woman wants to keep a baby, the man has no say so. You can't say, no, I don't want a baby. Like that will ruin my life. Like I'm trying to get my life together. But she's like, doesn't matter. I want to keep it, and you're gonna be on child support. I think that it should be again, they should adjust the law to where it's essentially a contract. If you want to keep this baby and the man doesn't, I should be able to sign away saying, hey, I'm not going to take any financial responsibility for this child because I don't want to have this child. Then again, it goes back to the woman where, like, well, now that you're not going to have a financial support system, do you want to still keep this child? Because if you do, the man has no financial liability whatsoever, whether it was a mistake or, whatever. Like I said, my wallet, my choice. If I don't want to have a kid, I should be able to say that because if she doesn't want a kid, again, if I remember this one girl, right? And this is before I found out that, you know, uh, I couldn't have kids or whatever. She got pregnant, surprise. And she didn't want to keep the baby, but because, I didn't know it was somebody else's. So she didn't want to keep the baby. She got the abortion. Didn't even tell me till afterwards. And I was like, well, what the fuck? And she's like, yep. She's like, and I was like, I don't get to say so. And she's like, no, because it's my body, my choice. And for me, that was a big thing because I had just found out from the doctors like 2 weeks ago where they're like, hey, listen, you're gonna have a major surgery. You're not gonna be able to have kids no more. So I was like, oh, thank God I was able to have one before the surgery. So this is like my miracle baby or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And she just got rid of it. Where, like I said, I didn't have any say so whatsoever. I didn't even have to be at the clinic. I didn't have to sign shit. So again, now it's like, I mean, I obviously don't have that problem, but for my friends, I tell them, I'm like, listen, man, it's your wallet, your choice. If you don't want to have a baby, you got to let that shit be clear and known and be like, hey, listen, I don't want to have a baby.
Get snipped, man. I say it to all the guys, just go get snipped. It's not worth it to even risk it. Yeah, plus wear a condom for STDs, but um, me personally, I even go a step further, like with paternity laws. I would say nobody should be able to just get pregnant and have a kid because if you go to adopt a kid, you got to go through classes. You got to basically prove that you're going to be a good parent. So why should anyone just be able to get pregnant and keep that kid? You know, prove that you're going to be a good parent. Take those classes to keep your kid. If you don't pass those classes, then that kid goes up for adoption. That's just me.
I joke all the time and I say it to everybody that'll listen. I call myself hand sanitizer because when I went to the doctor, they're like, you're 99.99% sterile. I was like, I'm basically Germex. You know what I mean? I'm sterile as shit. I love making that joke, man. I made it at work the other day. They were like, you did not just say you're hand sanitizer. And I was like, yes, I did. What's funny too? They told me that too. They're like, listen, man, they're like, you're lucky that we're cool because with some of the shit that you say, I was like, what's crazy? I was like, this is me holding myself back. I was like, I haven't even gotten to like half the shit I want to say. But like, it's funny because they actually listen to my podcast. So they've heard me literally say worse shit. Which I told them, I was like, don't listen. But they do anyway.
Yeah, my coworker Jesus, it's funny because like so I only see him now once a week for a couple hours, and so every week like when I show up for it's like 30 minutes. Hey Gaio, what would you do if this happened? What would you do if that happened? So you know what, those are some good podcast ideas. I need to start writing this shit down. He'll come in, so did you use that line? I'm like, what line? About your fingernails? And so my fingernails are always painted, usually. And whenever a girl asks me, hey, why do you paint your nails, like, how do you let people know you're a slut? Hey, dude, it's not a line. You've heard me talk to females in and around this job. You know how I am. Like I say fucked up shit. And he's like, how do you get away with this? It's not getting away with things. It's just being able to say it without second guessing yourself. If you second guess yourself, then they're going to second guess you. Pushing buttons essentially just to see or get a reaction. And the funny thing is, whenever I'm talking to these women, I'm fortunately I don't look as old as I am. And whenever these girls like find out later, oh shit, you're my dad's age. I'm like, and
Yeah. Also, like I said, man, if you guys have any questions, you can send me a DM on Instagram. It's a cement block underscore productions. And if you send me in a DM and stuff like that with any questions, we have a segment called Mail Call, and we answer any and all questions. So like if somebody sends us a question and stuff like that, we always make sure to answer. Sometimes I'll talk about. Listen, sometimes guys, I shoot myself in the foot just for content. Like I'll bring up a controversial topic with women, like hot women especially, so that way I can hear the dumbassery and then I can just kind of talk to them about it. And then seeing their face melt away once the logic hits them is ridiculous. Because I remember again, I brought up this thing to this girl where I was like, men and women can't be friends, like just platonic friends and stuff like that, like not truly. And she was like, yes, they totally can. The problem is men don't know how to have self control. And I was like, well, men totally have self control. And I was like, but that's not the problem. I said, most men, when they first talk to you, don't want to be your friend. You know what I mean? They want something more with you. The problem is you don't find them a viable sexual partner, so you put them in the friend category, and they agreed to stay there on the principle that they'll be able to move out of this category into a sexual partner category. You know what I mean? Or if, let's say, she's not that attractive, but she's got a bunch of hot friends, you'll be like, sure, I'll be your friend. Why don't we go out with your friends tonight? You know what I mean? And then I'll just see your group of friends. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, I love my sister. I don't have any female friends, but my sister, surrounded by baddies. You know what I mean? So I love going to Austin to go meet my sister and all her hot ass friends.
Especially when they're like under 25. Like, at least for me, like if they're under 25, I'm just
Most of the time, their conversation sucks. Honestly, I mean, I'm doing a lot of the heavy lifting. Yeah, when they're super vapid. Listen, I remember having a conversation with this girl. Right, she was 20 years old. I remember talking to her. I picked her up at a club. We were talking, and I told her, I was like, "So, what are some of your interests? Like, what do you like to do?" So, I like to drink. I like to get drunk. Hang out with my friends. Yeah, just pretty much that's it. And I'm like, so you want me to expound on a conversation because you like to get drunk? I'm like, mind blown. I was like, your conversational skills. I was like, thank God you're hot because fuck, you're not gonna get far. I was like, you're gonna have a rude awakening when you get older. But I mean, it is what it is, though. You know what I mean? Again, listen, if I wanted to talk to her for conversation, it's just like I say all the time. You have to set boundaries with women, man. Like if you don't like something that a woman does, 'cause I'm gonna be, I don't like when a woman talks like me because I cuss a lot and I talk like a dude. If I wanted somebody to talk like a dude, I would fuck dudes. So it is what it is. You got to be able to set boundaries and say stuff that you don't like because she'll do it. If she doesn't like something about you, she'll tell you. Or sometimes she won't tell you. She'll just cut you off and be like, "Ew, that gave me the ick," and they'll fucking leave.
usually it's more they just cut you off. They don't even bother telling you until you like ask them. They're like, hey, why aren't we talking? Oh, because this and this. It's like you couldn't tell me this the first time it happened. You could have told me this. Hey, this bothered you.
Most of the time, they'll just ghost you. Like you'll literally be texting them and then they'll just never reply. I remember I had a date with this one girl. Me and her were supposed to go out like 2 Saturdays ago, and we were texting about something, and then she never replied. And I didn't bother her because again, I'm not gonna sweat nobody. But Saturday morning, I texted her because I was like, "Hey, we still on for tonight?" And then I saw that it was delivered, so she didn't like block me or nothing like that. But she never responded, and I'm like, "That's perfectly fine." I ended up going out by myself, and I got two other numbers. It's like, bro, I'm not like you're literally a dime a dozen, and you know what I'm saying. Like you weren't that crucial to my life where I'm like, "Oh, I need this." Like I said, I don't sweat. I always like to quote Tory Lanez. There's two things I don't give a fuck about: these stupid assholes and their feelings. Like that's those two things I don't give a shit about because they're not gonna affect me directly. You know what I mean? There's plenty of other shit because I don't have a girlfriend, so it's like you're. I hate to say it, like your feelings don't matter, but because they do matter, they are valid. You know what I mean? Obviously, but I'm saying like if you think that you're gonna hurt me by being like, I don't like that, you need to stop doing that. Where it's like no, again, you have to be able to stand your ground. You know what I mean? Because she's gonna find that more attractive than if you just roll over and lay over and do whatever the fuck she says. You can't be a doormat. If she wants a doormat, she can go to the store and buy one.
If there's something that she says that she doesn't like there's this like maybe two or three women that I'll respect their wishes. If they tell me something, hey, you know what, this bothers me. I don't like when you do this. I'll think about it. Okay, is this relationship important for me to stop doing that? And if it's something stupid like making your mama jokes or whatever, just some little stupid thing that I don't have to do, I was like, okay, it's not that big deal for me. I can quit doing that. But if she says, oh, I don't like you drinking, I don't like you smoking, I'm like, bye. Of course, I don't drink or smoke anymore. But if it's something that you do for fun or something that you do regularly,
Oh yeah, like if it's a hobby, like no. Like if you listen to the last episode of our podcast and you listen to those 26 red flags that woman had, I was like, there's no way we could be together. Like I was like, you hate everything I do. You can't play video games, you can't watch football, you can't do this, you can't do that. It's like, well, what the fuck are we doing together? I was like, you just want all my undivided attention, basically. But if it's something legit, definitely. Because, like I said, one of the previous episodes I had, I talked about a woman that I was with that I was actually exclusive with because I didn't mind being exclusive with her. She showed me a bunch of good traits and qualities and stuff like that. But she didn't like when I smacked her ass in front of her family. But because I used to do it all the time in public. And so to me, it's just a secondary thing. So she'd be walking past me and I would just like, give her a quick pat or whatever. But one time I did it in front of her mom and like her mom didn't tell her nothing, but she was like, I don't like that. Can you like not do that? And I was like, oh yeah, no problem. Like I said, if it's something legit, yeah. But if she's like, I don't like you drinking, I don't like you smoking, I'm like, listen, man, like that shit ain't gonna stop. Like that's me. You know what I'm saying? Like I was doing this before you got here. I'm gonna be doing it after you probably leave. I said with cigarettes, I try not to do it in front of a lot of women, because mostly because I know they don't like the smell, and especially like if I'm going out and I got cologne on, I don't like smoking cigarettes myself anyway. So that's why like sometimes like if I go on a date, I'll put cologne on purpose, so that way like it doesn't make me want to smoke. You know what I mean? But if I'm just like out and I'm having a good time and I'm smoking, and people are like, "Oh, I don't like the fact that you smoke," I'm like, "Well, then bye." I've quit a bunch of times. See, look, okay, going back to simping, because again, I was simping for a woman. She told me, she was like, "I don't like the smell of cigarettes." And I was like, "Okay." And she's like, "So you have a choice. You can either kiss me or you could keep smoking cigarettes." And I was such a simp, I quit smoking cigarettes for 2 years. That's why I said, guys, you can't fold. That's why I said, man, listen, Boogie was not born like this, baby. Boogie became this.
I'm just cheap asshole. Like I quit when it hit $2 a pack. I was like, fuck that.
Yeah, dude, I bust through $50 a week easily.
That's 2,500 a year. That's like fucking trips to Vegas.
Yeah, that's 2 giant screen TVs. That's 3 truck payments. That's uh that's a bunch of dates. That's a bunch of alcohol.
Dude, there you go, man. Fucking just spend the money on the
That's what I'm gonna
studio.
start doing. Just
Validate it that
take
way.
that $50 and just buy something for the studio. Be like, no, I'm buying a mic. Bam. I don't have no more money for
Oh
cigarettes.
man. Well, on that note, Boogie, I love having you on. It's always a pleasure. Let everybody know where they can find you.
Man, I always love coming on here first. Shout out. I always shout out Sucias are my favorite, and you yourself, Gaio, on our podcast. We love that conversation. We definitely got to have you back on again, man. But you can find me at again cementblock_productions is Instagram. I'm on TikTok, Cement Block Productions. Uh, listen to our weekly podcast. With a new episode drops every Friday. It's Blokk Talk, BLOKK TALK. That's 2 words, Blokk Talk, and we talk about pretty much the same thing, man. Just dumbass adventures that we have in our lives, and talking to friends, and dating experts. We talked to a couple MMA fighters. We have a couple friends on and stuff like that. Got a lot more guests coming on. I'm waiting to have a female guest on. She's just having a little bit of scheduling conflicts right now, but I'm gonna have a female guest on, so that way she can defend womankind, hopefully, and we'll see from my misogynistic ways.
Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for listening. I love you. You're worthy of it. Till next time, besos.